What's up, y'all? Welcome to another successful Sundays. I'm, of course, your host, Coach AJ, Dope Life Coach, the dopest life coach out there. And today we're going to be talking about how sometimes your success can really show how the connections you have in your life. Um, because I find that whenever you're going through moments of growth, your success can shake up rooms, and especially when you have close connections to you, friendships, family, and you may have thought they were unshakable, but something as simple as you growing can really show who people really are in their true colors. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Before we get any further, let's take 3 deep breaths to just kind of clear out the air and just get prepared for the week we have ahead. So we're gonna inhale through our nose and exhale through our mouth 3 times. All right. So inhale through your nose and sigh it out. In through your nose. Sigh it out. One more time. In through your nose. Sigh it out. Okay, so we're just trying to get ready for the week ahead. This topic kind of it came to me when I was watching multiple clips on a particular podcast episode. It was a podcast episode of two friends having a conversation discussing, one that's doing relatively well for themselves at the moment, and the other one was going through a bit of a rock bottom. And not that she was hoping that the other one would kind of help out a little bit more as she's going through that rock bottom and lend a helping hand, but she witnessed that same friend who's doing well for themselves give to others that don't need it, and do it, and they're because they're doing well for themselves while she is kind of doing it all by her own, on her own, right? So it made me think about how sometimes when we're going through our own growth process, that our egos could come into play. And I wanted to kind of talk about that a bit because I think that in that segment that I watched, there was a few of them in the episode that I watched. One of the things that I've noticed, and maybe you could talk about this, in the comments, is that when someone is elevating and growing, they have a tough time reaching out their hand to elevate and help other people because they kind of want to stay on the top within maybe that friend group or environment. And I'm noticing that with like clients, when they come and they speak to me, they're like, yeah, man, like I'm trying to do this, or they have a mentor and that they're working with, and the mentor doesn't want them to surpass where they are, which is really odd to me. Which is really odd because I personally believe that we all have a table, we all build a table, and you can invite people to have a seat. They can learn, they can eat, and then they help somebody else with their table. Like, I feel like it's reciprocated like that. I understand some people may take advantage, but that doesn't put any good energy to their table, so you shouldn't really worry about that too tough. And it just made me think about, like, that moment when her friend, when she was saying, like, you know, "I would have hoped that you would have been proud of me when I was finally getting out of this tough situation. It was my time to shine, and I felt that you didn't really like the fact that it was my time to shine." It just like it made me feel and think about when we're going through our moments and when we are growing, how the people who are clapping for us are not clapping for us. They're clapping because they feel that is the thing that they need to do, but they're not really clapping with the energy of, I'm actually really proud of you. The friend was going through a tough time where, she was hitting her rock bottom. And the other friend who is relatively doing well felt as if what I kind of gathered from it felt as if, well, how come we couldn't do what you're doing together? Which makes me think, if that was the case with all the success that you've had, why didn't you do that prior, before, or during she was hitting her rock bottom? At the same time, I understand, like, that's no one's responsibility. Sometimes you just have to go through a tough situation to get to where you're going. But I couldn't help think, if you were able to help someone, because for me personally, my business is my business, and I personally wouldn't want anyone close to me to work within my business just because it's my baby and I love it. But if I could put someone on, if I could help someone, I'm gonna do it. I That's like automatic with me. I'm gonna do it. And it's not even for us to receive anything in the end. It's just I want to help someone. That's full stop and period. That's in my that's part of like my values. That's how I live. So what made me think about when this was happening? Was this her ego that she was not cool with the fact her friend was finally no longer down and out? Was it her ego that was playing an effect because she was technically the one that's always up here and her friend was going through a tough time? And now that her friend was kind of coming up and didn't ask you for a helping hand, is this a result of you feeling a hit of jealousy or a hit of I'm on top, no, I don't want anyone else on top, which is completely ridiculous. It shouldn't be a situation of why can't we work together? It should be I'm applauding for you and how else can I help? And when it comes to our success, ego does play a massive, massive, massive role. It could check a lot of people out. Success doesn't always change people, sometimes it just reveals who they were the entire time. You could be going through like a moment of when everything you've been working on is finally clicking, and you're hoping that this person's reaction or love or support is genuine. But you could often find, and sometimes it's not, because you're doing well and maybe because it's a reflection, right? Because you're doing well, perhaps they're not exactly where they would want to be in their own. So the first best target to go after is the person who's actually doing well. And the first thing that a person's probably going to ask themselves is, why are they doing so well and I'm struggling? Or they're doing better than me. They're not even going to focus on what they got going on with themselves. Like in that clip that I saw, the clips, multiple clips, and the episode that I watched, the energy felt off to me. The energy felt really just not genuine. You should be proud of your friend getting out of their rock bottom. You should be proud of them. And if you can lend them a helping hand, yeah, like by all means do it. But the moment it gets to the place of, well, why can't we do this together? My thing is, why the hell did you not do this together prior? Why was this not, if this was a win, why didn't you say we can win together? It was just very odd to me. Like, have you ever hit that win, you landed that job, you signed that contract, you hit that milestone that you've been working on for a very, 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 very long time, and suddenly, like, the people around you just become silent. Like, I saw a video this morning, and it really made me think, like, "Wow, are we a lost the generation after me? Are y'all okay?" It was like a friend group that was celebrating the young lady that brought them all together, how they no longer talk to that one young lady that brought them all together. And immediately I said to myself, first of all, that happening is protection for her. Second of all, you all are friends because you're haters. Like this doesn't make any sense to me. Perhaps that young lady was, I don't know her story, but let's say that she's doing well for herself. And all of a sudden the group chat, the people around you, the connections around you just go silent because you're growing and you're elevating. The people who had all the vice when they were struggling, when you had nothing, like you were struggling, got nothing to say now because you're shining. It takes zero to show support for people. It doesn't take much. It could take a simple text message, like, "Oh, I'm proud of you." Or now in the days of social media, you see somebody doing something, one like goes a long way for that, right? When you look at those moments when you may be shining bright, I want to say two things. Number one, never dim your light and put yourself in a box to make other people feel comfortable. If your brightness and you're shining so bright and it makes people feel uncomfortable, that has nothing to do with you. Nothing. So continue to shine. Continue to do the things that you want to do. Continue to grow. The second thing is sometimes if they go silent when you are shining, That is almost like a silent competition. Remember I said that video I saw with the young girls were, like, all celebrating in the video that the girl that brought them together, they all just, like, basically no longer talk to her, and they're all friends together. I don't know what like, I would not even wanna be in that friend group because if all y'all could backstab like that, count me out. Count me out. So were they like, did they feel as if she was a competition? What's going on here? Like, what was the whole point of that? Ego shows up in friendships more than we talk about, in connections and environments more, and even in family more than we talk about. It could sound super innocent at first, where they just kind of say, "Well, I wouldn't really do that." Like when they said in that podcast, "I wish we could do it together." Again, the first thought was, "What if you had a leg up already? Why didn't you? Why didn't you lend out a helping hand and say, 'Yo, come, let's do this together?'" Not even a question. Why didn't you? You don't even tell me when you're working on this. Like, let's say you're working on something and they're like, "Yo, you don't even tell me that you're working on it. How come?" There's a reason. It could be they already sense that the energy is off and they're just like, "Bro," like, I know for a fact there's gonna be family members that you are not gonna wanna tell your next move to, and you have every right to not tell them. There's nothing wrong with that. They may feel a way about it, but to be fair, if you're trying to protect it and you know that their energy is gonna be off, then yo, protect it as much as you can, especially when you notice that their energy is gonna be off. Or they may even say, "I'm just surprised you didn't ask me to be a part of it." There's a reason why I didn't. There's there's a reason why I didn't, because I already sense your energy from prior, and this is something that I didn't want that type of energy to pour into what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna keep it to myself, or I'm just gonna tell the people I know for a fact they're gonna pour good energy into it, and they're gonna be genuine about it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But underneath that, it's that's not sadness, that's ownership, that's entitlement, that's "I left you behind" energy. That's high school shit, to be honest with you. And it's not your job to carry everybody as you go along. Again, you can lend a helping hand, you could show support, but they also gotta put in the work themselves. I wanna make something so clear. The young lady that hit rock bottom and she was working her way back up, she hit her rock bottom, she moved back in with her parents, like, she took the steps she had to do to get to where she wanted to go, and then she landed a deal, and that's what sparked, "Oh, well, how come we can't do this together?" Which is crazy to me, because here she is, she's working up and she's carrying herself. She didn't even ask for a helping hand. She's witnessed what you did, but she just said, "Yo, I'm just gonna I gotta make my own moves," and lifted herself up. And that I also believe, like, that in itself was what was needed. That in itself was what was necessary. She needed to actually do it herself without any help, because maybe that was just a part of her story at that moment. Maybe that's just something that she really needed to do. Because let's be 1000% honest, jealousy doesn't look like hate all the time. It looks like fake ass support. Just like support that's just not genuine, and you gotta really question it because you feel in the pit of your gut. And sometimes it's not just the closest person who's claps for you, when they're involved, or one who always finds a way to make your win about them and about how they're not a part of it and how they could be a part of it. There's in that episode that I watched, there's a moment where, again, she wanted to do things together, and I don't think like, she was trying to be evil about it. I think she was just realizing that she really could have put her friend on. But I also think that was ego, because the first thing that came to my head is like, "Why didn't you do it from before? If you knew that this is your friend, so you must know that she's capable of doing X, Y, and Z. You know what her skills are. You know what her values are. So why didn't you put that out there from prior?" And I do kind of what I kinda got from the gist was, I'm up here, you're down here, and out of between the 2 of us, I only wanna be the one up here, which that energy alone is just odd, and it doesn't really get you far. But I do also think that her friend's glow up became a great journey for her because she took the steps to do it her way, and I also believe that sometimes sometimes your journey needs to be done alone, right? Like, most journeys need to be done alone. You can get help along the way, but maybe that was just, like, a very eye-opening moment for her. But the truth is, sometimes someone else's light doesn't need to dim yours. Their wind doesn't take away your ability to stay in your own lane and work towards things you wanna work towards, and if you're truly a friend, you know that, and you'll always support the people around you and love the people around you, and you can lift up. You're not really gonna move with ego, you're gonna move with love. No matter how successful you become in your own life, you're gonna say, like, and I also wanna give another example. LeBron James has an amazing team around him. LeBron James is a great basketball player, but he's also a businessman. And one of the reasons why he's a great businessman is because of the team he has around him. He has had these same guys from the beginning of his career. And as he's, slowly probably going to retire next few years, next season, a couple seasons, whatever, he's had the same crew because he saw the potential in them from then. He saw that these guys are going to help me carry and they're going to keep me in line the entire time. And for him, it was if I'm going to move up, these guys are going to move up without question. And that's exactly what he did. And without ego, as he gained his success, we were talking about one of the greatest basketball players in the NBA. But as he gained his success, he was putting all of his boys on. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. And I hope that, you know, this young lady does the same. As she grows, she allows people around her to grow because if she has people that are able to hit rock bottom and work their way up, that's the type of people you want to keep around you. So sometimes we don't audit our circle. I audit mine a long, long time ago. I love my circle. My circle is very supportive and loving and caring, and they call me out on my shit. It's the best support system I could ever have. And I was very intentional and strategic with it. One of the things I did was I did an audit of where I'm going and what are the values that I want the folks that are going to be around me, that they have. And a couple of questions that I asked myself, and I'll share them with you. You could use this as a journal prompt for this week as one of your challenges is who gets quiet when I win? Like, who are the people around me that are very, very quiet, and that are very hush hush when I'm elevating, but when I'm kind of like just growing, they got a lot to say in a sense, but like when I finally start elevating and shining, who's hush? And who only supports you when it benefits them? So if this version of you is benefiting them and you're growing, and the only time that they want to call you, support you, whatever, is because you can give to them because it benefits them the most, who is that person? List it out. And it could be family too. It could be family too. Who makes you feel guilty for outgrowing them? Yeah. Who makes you feel guilty for outgrowing? Because, like, yo, listen, we're not you're not being disloyal for wanting to grow. You're not being disrespectful for wanting to grow. It's not selfish for not wanting to shrink yourself even more. And you're allowed to protect your peace and protect the things that you're working at and working on and the goals that you're going towards. And even if it means losing people who once felt like home, it is what it is because at times if they're not going to grow with you, they kind of have to grow without you. Sorry, but it's the truth. It's the truth. All right, y'all. So I really hope that you enjoyed today's episode. I hope it got you thinking about how success and ego plays a part and how you can move differently when it comes towards your growth and audit and just assess like the people around you, but also same time how you can also help people and not allow your ego to take the complete like present role in what it is that you're doing because ego is needed to a degree. It does help build character and confidence, but when it gets out of control and it becomes cocky, kind of defeats the whole purpose. But I hope you have a dope, dope, dope week ahead. I hope you got some gems out of this again. I will see you next week. Don't forget the Dope Life Podcast has a brand new episode this Tuesday. Actually, I apologize. I won't see you the next week. Next week's Successful Sundays will be canceled. I will put a reminder in. I do appreciate y'all. And you know what to do. You have a very dope, dope week. Walk with peace. And hold on, I'm trying to get this. Walk with love.